Kia ora rawa, tue homa, no mahara mai, and a warm welcome to Rotorua International Stadium. It's great to have you along here as we bring to you round one of the NZRL National 20s competition, today featuring Waikou Bay up against Auckland White with me Wairangi Korpi. Beautiful day in the Sulphur City, and great to be back with some live rugby league.
Tēnā koe Dale, yes indeed. Yeah, fantastic this early in the year to be treated to some quality rugby league like this, and also witness some of our up-and-coming rangatahi who are looking for pathways into elite-time rugby league.
Good to have you along here, and thanks for tuning in to Sky Sport. We'll have a look at the Auckland White team first up as we await them. Beautiful conditions for a game of footy here. Here's the lineup. Coach Francis Melly with plenty of experience in this. Some of them have played top-level football in the Fox Memorial Championship in Auckland, but a lot of them also unknown quantities. Keep an eye out for the Kale brothers. They're on fire, and Waipodi is a really good distributor, and Francis Melly is at the helm of Auckland White. We caught up with him just a few moments ago.
Flangy, it's a bit of a treat for us to, I suppose, get some of these elite boys together so early in the year and let us have a good look at some of these rangatahi.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the opportunity is there, and New Zealand and Auckland Rugby League are taking the opportunity to put that pathway in. I think the boys are very excited. I think some of them haven't played for a year and they're looking forward to it.
Bit of a mix of a squad, with the counties and Nakarana teams sort of merging together to make two different teams. How has it been putting the sides together? I think look back, it's similar when me and you were playing down in Hopu, where Auckland had 3 teams. So I reckon it's a great idea. It's a chance for all kids to come from different clubs, and the best kids will be selected in 2 teams. Hot day to play a rugby league, my friend, but I'm sure these young boys can handle it.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. We are expecting a lot of errors. It's how the boys are going to react underneath the circumstances that we have. So a lot of them haven't played footy, so I'm pretty realistic with today's outcome.
Good luck today, Coach.
Thank you.
Really great to have Francis Melly back in the mix as well. He's working with youth in Auckland, and he certainly knows his way around a footy field. He'll work well with a lot of these young guys. Let's have a look at Waikou Bay's lineup, and of course the combination of coastlines, Waikato and Bay of Plenty has some geographical challenges, but not ones they haven't faced before. Got some good talent in there. Rapana comes with some good credentials from your old kura as well, Wairangi, Orako Manga. The coach is Alex Parker, Eugene Davis as well, co-coach. But we caught up with Alex just a few moments ago to get his thoughts on the squad's hopes for today.
Alex, I suppose it's a little bit of a treat to have all these boys come together and play in a competition where we get to see some of our best youth playing rugby league in 2021.
Absolutely, mate. So our key role and our key job at this age group is about opportunities and pathways for the young men. So, yeah, any opportunity we get to do that for our young men is great. So, yeah, great opportunity for that.
A little bit of a challenge for Waikou Bay, being geographically we're quite spread out. How has it been getting these boys together for this competition?
Yeah, I mean, it is a challenge geographically, obviously with the boys spread from quite large distances, but I think the positive out of that is that it brings us together. Where the boys are used to that by now. A lot of them have been in our system for a number of years, so they're used to that spread and they always come together really well. So this year's no different. Really good group of young men.
Good luck, Coach.
Awesome. Cheers, mate. Thanks very much.
A great opportunity for these young players. Many of them wouldn't have played on television before. Great to have it coming to you via Sky Sport. But they'll be very emotional, a lot of these players, and a great opportunity to just create a pathway for them. Sadly, in this code, as in others, there's a stark drop-off at around 18 years of age, and so New Zealand Rugby League recognised that they needed to have competitions of this nature. And bear in mind, too, there's talk of an SG ball squad from New Zealand into the Aussie comp next year as well. Auckland White will be working from our right to left. That's them lining up. And of course, WaiCoABay, this combination of players out of Tūranga Waiwai, out of Tanewharau and Ngārawa Wahia through Pikiao here in the Bay of Plenty, and of course through the Eels, Motamotai and the like, and Tauranga Moana. We'll start, as is expected to, in this place of such culture with the haka from the Waikou Bay players. Great start there from WaiCoaBay, and always welcome in our New Zealand sporting fixtures. Nei rā te mihi ka koutuka toi hoa mai. Good to have you along here on Sky Sport. And Wairangi Kōpu in for today's call. International, of course, host of the crowd goes wild and wilder and wilder as the years go by there. Wairangi, great to be working with you again, my friend. And of course, this is awesome to see Central Districts. Northland will be broadcasting from Takahiwai next week. So they're mixing it around out in Pukekohe, the game today. Central Districts lining up against the Auckland Blue team. But the gauged interest among these young men, seeing who wanted to play 20s. Of course, it's been a very difficult year with a lack of play in 2020. But now that we have some sort of assurance with how sports will occur through 2021, a great chance for these young guys to stake their claims for higher honours. And who knows, we might be witnessing one or three that could go into club footy and then beyond. So it happened to you out of good old Huntly, and it can happen to them as well from anywhere in the country.
Yes, indeed, Dale. And the thing is too as well is that you know, as much as there's an opportunity for these players, it's an opportunity for New Zealand Rugby League to be able to groom these players into top class rugby league players. So I'm looking forward to a great competition over the next 6 weeks.
So there'll be some nerves as well. WaiCoaBay know that they're up against a big challenge here as the first tackle. That's an indication of the attitude they're going to take into the game. We're in for a bit of a ripper here. The big bloke with the blonde hair is Rewati Brown. He'll be easy to pick out through the course of the game. WaiCoaBay in the mix. Eamon Dean comes up to assist in the back row is Portima. He gets into a good tackle early on. Auckland with a nice little popped pass as well, showing that they're going to be willing to run it around. Francis Melly says that he wants to give them license to be creative with the ball in hand. And the first kick of the game goes deep. It'll be taken at the back here by Orapana. In fact, it ends up in the hands of the number 5, Caleb Tania.
Yeah, good start. And Francis Melly said before this game that his expectations weren't high for the first 10 minutes of this game. Neither of these teams, including Auckland, hadn't had a run at all. They tried to have a little bit of a scrimmage against Auckland Blue, but it wasn't successful. So a little bit underdone both these sides, and I'm sure there'll be a few errors throughout this first half, but just getting some cobwebs out, and they look pretty good so far, Auckland Blue.
So it's Podo, Dylan Rogers Podo there from Tauranga. He's from the Otamotai Eels, but has played in the Stallions in the past, WaiCoaBay, in the 17s a couple of seasons ago. So they're not unfamiliar with this representative makeup as we go down the left edge and just inside his own half. And a nice little kick too. Finding its way into touch on the far side of the field. Cassidy in the tunnel could do little about it.
Yeah, great start for both sides, completing sets. And the wind's just at the back of the WaiCoaBay side here in Rotorua. You see the flagpoles sort of screaming around a little bit. There's the first hit up of the series for both these teams, and good contact made by WaiCoaBay. That'll give them a little bit of confidence going to this because there's some very big boys on that Auckland White side.
Well, the man who carted it forward, the big number 8, is Victor Foa, and Victor has played plenty of high-level footy for his age out of Mount Albert. He's been working with John Ackland there as well, and he was one of the first picks for Francis Melly due to his experience having played with in the men's competition, the Fox Memorial Championship, which is the pinnacle of club rugby league in Tamaki Makaurau. So it's Auckland White with the ball as well now, and they'll be wanting to make inroads. Everyone putting their hands up. Referee Pucky Parkinson is quick to penalise WaiCoaBay.
We're playing international rules in this competition as well, Dale. So checked with Pucky Parkinson about any of the new rule changes that they have in the NRL and club football, but this is sort of just strictly international rules.
Now that ball was knocked on, and it's a shame too because Podo had a chance to take it. It was a poor kick, but there's going to be some stage fright and a few early nerves as well. I remember they haven't played any footy at all here, bar the training runs, and struggled to find opposition. But things will tighten up as we go along.
Yes, indeed. No quarters for this game. Typically at this time of the year, we might break for a quarter. But these are 35-minute games, so I'm sure these young boys are fit enough and good enough to be able to handle this level and this heat.
So they've got some big men in the centres for Auckland White. The standoff is Dukes Koiva, well known around the place too. His brothers play for Richmond. He's a Marist kid, and well known in the tag scene as well. As Auckland White get hold of the ball and start to threaten here. Just under 4 minutes gone, and Auckland White well in position. They're only 10 metres out from the try line. Dummy half work here for Cassidy Natano. Now they bring in the heavy artillery, and the tackle is made by Eamon Dean, but they were never back to 10 metres. Penalty, Auckland White. 10 to the left-hand side of the posts. With it is Navajo Doyle. Talented player, good distributor. Tony Tuffer takes it in, pops it back for Doyle now. Sends it wide immediately. Out to the big number 3, Viliami Kuli. He's put away, a couple of metres out from the try line though. Doyle slides into acting, half little dummy. He's trying to catch them unawares, WaiCoaBay, but they were awake to his ploy. And they put him to the ground here. Just a metre out from the try line, threatening times for WaiCoaBay as it comes through Tuffer. He goes sideways, Big Tony. Now to ground. Still the pressure mounting here. They've got plenty of numbers, and if they can use them well, they'll come away with 4 points. A little bit staggered in the end. The popped ball finds its way into WaiCoaBay's hands. It's a good sportsmanship shown there by the number 6, Xavier Mitchell-Windsor. And WaiCoaBay will get the scrum feed 10 metres out from their own line.
Yeah, good desperate defence from WaiCoaBay there on the line. They're under some heavy fire from Auckland White. Just the speed of the play the ball at the moment is the real difference. There's some big lads in the Auckland White side. They're finding their front. They're getting up quickly to play the ball, and it's just backpedaling the WaiCoaBay defensive line really quickly. So it's a good little effort from WaiCoaBay there just to repel the attack and hold them out.
Of course, there are many people who go looking for WaiCoaBay only to be disappointed because it's not really a place.
My son asked me when I first get here, he's like, where's WaiCoaBay?
And that's the combination of the 3 regions. All proud rugby league histories in their own right, that's for sure. Auckland White have the ball and the scrum feed, so still pressure on here for what can be considered the home team, WaiCoaBay. Auckland just came down this morning. Spent a couple of hours here. A lovely cut-out ball, bounce important. It eludes Watts, who recovers down the left wing. Big, strapping bloke. Tulamanila Watts.
Did a great job to keep that in there.
Went overseas a couple of years ago to try and further his footy career. Came back due to lockdown. And here we get some aggressive defence. But referee Parkinson, not impressed. But you certainly need a little bit of a spark in your tackling technique, that's for sure.
Yeah, marginally past the horizontal. And I suppose he got put in a position there that might have been a little bit dangerous. But, yeah, that's some good sting in the defence from WaiCoaBay. Let's see if they can hold out.
Here's Elam Payne. Will play it right in front of the sticks here. Auckland White, very threatening short pass across the line. And it has been held up there. So some great defence, predominantly there from Eamon Dean. Let's have another look.
Little no-look pass, lovely little short ball there. Very hard to stop from that position. They did a great job.
So it's Tony Tuffer to play the ball. A 4. Now with numbers, Auckland White creating opportunities out wide. Some weaving running here, elusive running, difficult for the WaiCoaBay defenders. Down the short side they come, and too big there that time around. Paki Parkinson will signal first try of the game. It is to Auckland White. And congratulations being afforded the runner as well. Good
hard
work.
to see the numbers there, but I think it might be Kyson Kingy out on the right side, the big second rower. Let's have a look. If he just goes to the right-hand side, there, yeah, it is the big man. There he is, Kyson Kingy.
He's actually out of Whangarei too, so he's got a scholarship to Mount Albert Grammar, and described as very mobile and very shy. Well, he didn't look too shy this time around, Whiting.
Yeah, he wasn't shy taking the ball up there. He just split the defence from WaiCoaBay and just failing to get off the line far enough on that short side. WaiCoaBay from White with all the ball and mounting pressure on that try line of WaiCoaBay. Get over for the first try of this game. But it's promising signs for WaiCoABay. It would have built a little bit of confidence off the back of the defence there.
So the conversion 10 metres in from what would be the eastern side here at the Rotorua International Stadium. It's been the venue for a lot of wonderful games over the years, both rugby and rugby league. It's a great facility here for the Sulphur City. That one raises the flags as well. So pretty handy kicker they have as well. And Dukes Koiva is kicking at 80%. One of the reasons that Coach Melly wanted him definitely in his squad. So Kingy scores, 6-0 lead. That's coming towards 10 minutes play.
Sorry, Dale. Yeah, that's a fantastic kick into the wind. Not far from the sideline.
Your father had pretty strong connections down these ways as well, Wairangi?
Yeah, my brother lives here. He's first-time teacher at Rotorua Boys High School. There's a few of the boys in the Waikou Bay side who have just recently come out of Rotorua Boys High. My son just started attending there as well, and he's in the Ty Mitchell Hostel. Fantastic wairua down here in Rotorua, so I'll be down here a few times. Might even pop in and see these boys train at some stage.
I reckon you made grade as a young man. Well, I'm just trying to think how old you might have been when you first made the Warriors, because a lot of what's happening here for these guys resonates with you and the way your career unfolded. What was the situation for you?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to sort of almost have a pathway straight from Tani Wharau, despite signing up with the Glenora Bears for the Roop Rooster part of the season and training under the Glenora Bears. I was lucky enough to sort of end up in the Warriors mix on my 19th birthday. So yeah, from there I sort of just had to work hard enough to keep my place in that squad. So 11 years later, mate, it's a pretty happy career.
And it was a good career as well. The reason I raised that too, I think, is because some of these guys might emulate that with good showings, not just in this one game, but in the 5-week tournament. They've got a chance to put their skills in front of those who count. Faith Kalikali up to play the ball. Auckland White already starting to pressure as Elam Payne whips it out and finds Cassidy Natano. This is too good out wide here for Auckland White, and too strong once again. Their centre pairings looking good, but if that's held up, then a bit of credit must go to WaiCoABay. It seemed under the pump to me. Your thoughts there, Wairangi?
Yeah, he looked destined to score there. I'm not too sure if that's my mate or Mauri Rapana at fullback there. He hasn't played fullback for a long time. I spoke to him before this game. But if he's held, he's done a great job to hold him up there. If that was him, I'll give him a little bit of credit for it.
It's good to see the blue and white hoops of Auckland Rugby League jerseys of yesteryear. The white numbers on them make life a little bit difficult, maybe for you at home, certainly for us in the box. And look at that little dummy. Didn't need to make the pass. The try is scored by Viliami Kuli eventually, but he had to have a second grab at it to do so. Auckland White strong, they're always going to be. They're running into the wind as well, but a weight of possession sees them kick out now, and that's 10-0 with the kick to come.
He almost did it again, Modi, but yeah, no, good fight there over the line. Nice little play. Their structured plays are really nice, and I suppose that's, you put that down to a great coach in Francis Millie. He's got a great support staff around him as well. But very, very dominant. WaiCoABay just need to get their hands on the ball because they haven't had a touch of the pill, actually, for a long time.
It feels that way, doesn't it? But, of course, the Auckland White team have maintained good ball control. And there's a whole lot of willingness, isn't there, right across the park, everyone putting their hands up for a seat. And you've got these clever ball players there, and certainly Navo Doyle and Tinapi Waipodi, Dukes Koiva. They're very clever with the ball. This is Dukes now kicking, as we can see the huddle there for Auckland. Obviously, they'll be pretty pleased with the way that they've started the game here. Lovely evening here in Rotorua today. Auckland White making a great fist of the opening exchanges. And again, guides that through without problem. 12-0 scoreline with 13 gone. You're watching the action here on Sky of NZRL's National 20s competition. This is the first week And we'll be bringing you action over the next month or so. The two teams at the top of the table, once those 4 weeks have played, will play in the grand final. Because then go back to their respective clubs. Some will be playing top side in open age, but others, no doubt, will be playing the restricted grade. They're not all 19. Some of them are 17, some of the players. It's a great shop front for them as Auckland take the ball in deep. And the big man on the wind-up again, making powerful inroads into the WaiCoABay defenders. Gets to his feet now. It's R4. Of course, Bunty's brother, but he's probably copped that for a lot of his life as well. So here we see Auckland White once again putting some wheels on and really going well. The ball on the inside is back to the try scorer Cooley, and a desperate tackle by Dylan Rogers. Podo brings Cooley to ground, and he knocks the ball on as he goes to ground.
Yeah, just a little bumble as he hit the ground there. Uhomodi did a great job. You've seen, but great support play as well by the winger, Auckland White. Just the ball movement, it's fantastic. The compressed defensive line of WaiCoABay at the moment, they're sort of aiming up on some of their big boys, but just a couple of little passes or an offload, and there's a lot of space out wide.
And finally, WaiCoABay will get the ball. It's been a long time between drinks so far. Jaden Graham will feed the scrum here, 15 metres out from their own line. I just need to settle things down. They're not to be too ambitious. And these early exchanges have had so little ball as Tyzak Rind takes it forward. Just out of the Colgate Games, Tyzak as well. So he has some athletic prowess of that we are assured. And now this ball has been lost. The big tackle put in there by the number 8. And sadly for WaiCoABay, they didn't hold on to it for long. Caleb Tane loses control. Scrum being packed on the 30-metre line. And Auckland White continue to roll on with the aggressive attack. It's been the hallmark of their opening exchanges.
Yeah, well, you mentioned it before the set even started for WaiCoABay that they really needed a completion here, just get themselves out of trouble, get to a kick. I think they've only had one set with the ball, and it was a good completion as well at that. But back on defence now, you can't do this all game.
Still good to have rugby league here, and even though at the moment it's a dominant effort here, now we've been looking forward to seeing this guy go. And it's a scrambling defensive effort there by Lepao Gamlin. But Auckland White still running hot. The big second row of Faith Kale put away in the tackle of Porima. Work to be done here for WaiCoABay. They'll have to be very stoic in defence if they're going to hold out Auckland White, who are rampaging at the moment. The dummy is welcomed with a decent tackle as well, 5 metres out from the try line. And it's a knock-on as Auckland White get up. The small but very patriotic crowd that are here at the moment supporting WaiCoABay, happy with the decision. They'll get the scrum feed on the 10.
Yeah, you're not going to pull one over Paki Parkinson's eyes. He saw there just a little milk. It was a little pull of the leg from WaiCoABay there, but I think enough there to warrant not picking that ball up and playing it correctly.
So this is where WaiCoABay need to be really tight. They just need to build some confidence, and they'll do that by getting to the back end of their set. They get a decent kick downfield, a good chase, and things could turn around for them. But at the moment, they're under the pump here by an Auckland team that are hot on attack and also very aggressive on defence, as you can see from the way that they are going about their work. A penalty for WaiCoABay.
Yeah, that'll help just to piggyback out of their own end.
It's been such a disruption, well, globally, of course, COVID-19, but to sporting careers, everything put on hold. Championships not played last year right across the country for understandable reasons, but now we've got some pathway open for sports and also a bit more clarity about how the COVID situation is affecting our country.
I think you really have to pay homage to the ones like Motutoni, New Zealand Rugby League, for taking the initiative to put this competition together and put it together early, because like we say, this is a pathway, definitely a pathway for these younger boys as they move up towards sort of elite level rugby league. But it's also this is an opportunity for us to really start building and breeding these players for New Zealand Rugby League.
Liberty Brown with the ball, and now WaiCoABay trying to create something, and upended. The defence was solid there And Hormodi up on a quick play the ball for him. Wheeling out from dummy half is Matthews, who peels off a couple of quick metres. Now 20 metres out from the try line, and a poor play the ball. He looks up, looking for some support from the referee. It's not forthcoming as well. Arawari Matthews, he's a good leader, but this time around falters. Played in the New Zealand club's 18s last year, did Arawari.
Take a look at this hit up. That's some good contact from those young men. Here it is. Yeah, just rolled the ball forward. Pour into the set, and a really good set with that.
It was, but it came a cropper, didn't it? It's those little mistakes that really cause coaches to shake their heads. You've got to be tight on these ones. To play the ball is such an important aspect, but everyone thinks that it's, of little importance. The amount of times that guys stuff up by not playing the ball properly would surprise many. Here's Ezekiel start.
I have to also keep reminding myself that these boys haven't played any rugby league yet. They're 20 minutes into their first game of rugby league for 2021. So there's bound to be little errors creeping in. Just incorrect play the balls as they start to fatigue. Wayward passes here and there. And we'll cut them a slack for the first week.
Thank you. Well, but next week.
Next week.
No slack cutting next week. But we'll let it go this week, that's for sure. It is very hot out there too, and humid, as it is right across the country at the moment. Luckily, a bit of a breeze to just cool that down, but certainly out in the middle, it is hot, and 20 minutes gone, as Waitangi mentioned earlier. 35-minute halves being played here in this 20s competition. And it's WaiCoaBay who have the ball in hand. Caleb Lepau Gamlin.
Yeah, added to that too, Dale, WaiCoaBay, they chose a terrific colour for their jerseys, their uniforms today.
Oh, well, like the rest of us, we all like wearing black. Little dummy and dart here from Xavier Mitchell-Windsor. Good field position now for WaiCoaBay. Here's a chance to mount a challenge. Out from the dummy half position goes Dylan Bidwar. That ball's gone backwards. It's still play on. WaiCoaBay still have possession. Bidwar calling for the ball quickly. It comes out, pushed out the back to Lapana. He'll go across. Little dummy from Lapana. He's lost the ball. Auckland White come up with it. And really needed to either hold the ball or deliver it. But Hormodi will be ruining the opportunity that goes astray close to the line. And Auckland White now have the ball. Some spirited defence coming in here from WaiCoaBay, though, who muscle up and push the Auckland runners back towards the 10-metre line. Great defence. In for a hit comes Rewati Brown. But the ball is still in the Auckland White hands. And this time around, the tackle is made on Faith Kalekale. He's big and powerful. My apologies, Tony Tuffer, the big number 10. And not back 10. WaiCoaBay will be marched. And Auckland White will get another penalty.
Yeah, it's thought they were Portima there just a little bit lazy. Didn't get back on side enough. He wasn't at marker as well. Yeah, a little bit of a disappointing attacking set there. He doesn't find the line again.
Well, a couple of poor kicks. That's something they'll have to work on quite obviously. Is Dylan Rogers-Podo. Now with the ball, he's 38 out from his own line. What's WaiCoaBay got in store? Back to Rapana. He's into dummy half. He's a darting little runner. There's no doubt about that. Fluent speaker of Te Reo Māori as well. And student teacher, very elusive with the ball. And from your old kura, Rako Mangamanga, his peeps as well.
Yep, played football all my junior years with Whakahawe Rapana, his father. Great little player as well. Stacey Jones of Tani Wharau in his time. Also, Te Hormodi, he's stood next to me in Te Matatini line the last Te Matatini we had down in Wellington. So I know him very well. And at the moment, I've got plenty of ammunition to give him stick for mistakes he's made so far.
Who did you stand with at Matatini?
Te Hormodi, the fullback here at WaiCoaBay.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, with Tauida Mai Tawhiti. Sorry.
Yep. Tauida Mai Tawhiti. And it's great to see you on stage as well, Waitangi. So now Auckland White. They've scored 2 tries, one to King in the 8th, Cooley in the 12th. Now 10 minutes later, and WaiCoaBay have held them, but they'll need to be on their game here as the grubber kick goes through, looking for Watts. And Watts up, all right. He's lost it. Well, he had a big chance there, he did. Tula Watts. Tall, strapping bloke. But again,
great vision.
Seemed to do all the hard work. And Dormodi was in there to wrap him up, forced him to lose the ball. Good play from WaiCoaBay. Desperate defence.
There's not a lot of attack yet, Te Modi out of fullback, but he saved 2 sure tries so far in this game. And, you know, at the moment, that passionate spirit of defence that WaiCoBay have is keeping them in the game.
Totoa Portima with it, standing his ground here, although the big men loom large over him here as he gets up to play it on the halfway line. Beautiful hands on display. The kick coming in deep at the back is Cassidy Natano. And a little knock on as well. So a few fundamental errors coming into the game. And little number 7, Jaden Graham for WaiCoBay, is signalling, gesticulating to his players, saying, boys, this is us. We're in good field position. We need to make the most of it.
Yeah, an opportunity for them now. Only the second time I think they've been down here attacking the Auckland White line. So yeah, just those little errors that we thought we might see in this game, creeping into both sides' play. But a real good opportunity here for WaiCoBay to post their first points.
So Jaden Graham to feed the scrum from Hamilton Boys High School as well. A lot of these guys played for Rotorua Boys or Hamilton Boys in their first 15s. WaiCoBay with it at the moment, and it's Isaac Rind. He's to ground, 12 metres out, but it looks like he might have sustained an injury in going to ground. The referee will call in the Zambucks. I know that's an old term. But
Zambucks?
The Zambucks.
I think that's even too old for me.
That's when radios were wirelesses and petrol pumps were Bowsers. But anyway, that was the nickname for the St John's guys, but it's really the trainers who are coming in at the moment. Hope he's okay.
Yeah, he didn't look well as he went to ground.
Be ashamed to do your knee in the first game of the season. Now also, just reminding you, Blake Ashford is working with the WaiCoBay team. He's living in Tauranga now, so it's great to see Blake helping out. The 2 coaches there, Alex Parker and Eugene Davis. Eugene Davis, that is, the coach. Well, he's out of Ngāra Wahia, was it? I think. Maybe the Ngāra Wahia club. He's in the capital today, on Oana. So Alex Parker is looking after things. He's been helping with the Stallions over the years, but now based himself in Tauranga. Well, you can't see them now. They were certainly here earlier on. We had Tony Edward and Stacey Jones here. They decided to run a community camp in Rotorua today for the under-14s, under-16s. 70 kids turned out.
Yeah, great turnout.
And this is really important too, that we have notable figures running these sorts of training camps. As you can see, a little bit of a hiccup here at the moment. You're watching the action though for Rotorua International Stadium of round 1 of the NZRL National 20s competition. And that brings together Central Districts and also 2 teams out of Auckland. There's a Southern team as well, so a couple of games have been played in Otautahi, Christchurch. As we see the stretcher coming out, no one likes that situation, but that's the reality.
Yeah, there's a game down in Forsyth Bath Stadium as well later on down the track.
Well, that's great to see, and big ups to our rugby league followers. I know a lot of New Zealanders like watching sport of all kinds, especially live sport and community sport. That's what we're witnessing here, but just a slight pause here in this match. At the moment, it's a 12-0 scoreline. A try in the 8th minute to Kaisen Kingi with a nice little drop-off ball close to the line. He was able to barrel his way over. Cooley scored later, about 4 minutes later, actually, and it was a nice play out to the right-hand side. So there it is. Rotorua, New Zealand, come on down and support all our businesses. The tourist trade has taken a big whack, as we know. Another guy getting some running repairs. So I want to see you in that Zorb tomorrow. Or coming down on the luge.
Yeah, coming down on the luge. Yeah.
Anything else sort of thrill-seeking that you'd like to do while you're down here in the Sulphur City, Waitangi?
Must be a haka and a hangi somewhere that I can go and see.
Well, you can perform one as well and go around your cousin's place for a hangi.
Pretty much, yeah. Whakarewa. There's plenty around.
Beautiful day, an amazing place. And so many New Zealand families have been making their way to Rotorua over these past months for that very reason, conscious that the businesses, many who were under threat of going to the wall, have really relied on our domestic tourism market. And big ups to those of you who've been travelling around the country, spending your dosh and joints that need it.
First point of call tomorrow, I think, for United Day will be a 6 o'clock run around the Redwoods.
Oh, yes, of course, yeah, and then a mountain bike through the hills.
Yeah, a little dip out in the Blue Lakes.
And they'll come back for breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
Sounds good. Well, mountain biking is certainly the big thing around this place now, and as we look into the Waikou Bay camp, this will just upset them slightly because some momentum was starting to build, but it doesn't look good for our young man who's being carted from the field on the far side. We didn't get a close look, but Dr. Korpu is renowned for his assessments from afar, so they're looking at that left knee. Is it the meniscus?
Nah, it looks like they're holding that right leg. I reckon he might have broken a tibia or of some sort. So, yeah, just a lot of care being placed on that right leg, that right outstretched leg there. So the stretch is never a good sign. It means that he can't assist himself, and even with the ACL or MCL in the knee, you usually can sort of cut yourself off here with a little bit of an action. We see these must be the tries from Auckland White, and they are. That's the first try. That's the big back rower, Kyson Kingy.
That was a good straight run, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And David Kale.
That's the disallowed try. Ohomodi up on the fullback for Waikou Bay, just holding him up there.
Most of the crowd have gathered here today wisely in the shade, in the stadium here, in the eastern stand, as we see Waikou Bay keeping themselves fresh. But they'll have thoughts for their teammate as well. There's quite a bit of concern being shown for him, but fortunately it wasn't a head knock, and he's lucid and able to communicate with those who are trying to assist him from the field. This is another look at one of the strong plays as well. Perhaps this is the second try it is. We know that it is a broken bone, the tibia or the fibia. So you're pretty accurate there, Waitangi.
Yeah, thought so.
Have you ever thought of Shortland Street? The reason, quite obviously, you've got these sort of medical ways about you, Waitangi.
Distance doctor. I reckon I could just diagnose from afar, just over Zoom video calls. If somebody just Zooms me and says they've got something wrong with this, and I diagnose on the spot.
Well, it's great to have you here. While we've got a chance too, of course, a wonderful result. I know the Māori team would have liked to have beaten the Indigenous All-Stars last week, but a 10-all draw, and the whakawhanongatanga between the two teams at the conclusion of the game was something quite special to witness.
Fairly fitting, really, wasn't it, to have a draw between the two sides. Such respect played out in that game, and I think everybody appreciates how much mana both sides bring, not only to rugby league, but to our cultures, to have it played out like that on the world stage in a sport that we love is fantastic. Shout out to our wahine as well, who won their game 24-0, just dominated the Indigenous Australian woman. So a couple of Tani Wharau representatives in those sides as well. Maya Hill Moana, she played a great game. She was a big prop who's now signed for the Bulldogs for the NRLW, and also Emery Pete, who's up there in Townsville, who was prop for the New Zealand Māori All-Star side. So we've got some people coming out of some great clubs who are representing our people on the world stage.
It'd be great to see them here, and New Zealand Māori hosting the Indigenous team from Australia here at Rotorua would be a gem, wouldn't it? And have all the colour and culture that is associated with this proud rohe. Apologies too, I didn't quite pick up the number of this young guy who went down, and for us, myself and Waitangi, it's our first time seeing a lot of these kids, or young men I should say, they're not kids, but this bloke, sadly, his season is very much curtailed. And
yeah, I'm not sure. I think
his teammates coming forward.
Might have been Rind. Might have been Tyzak Rind out there, the centre. I think it is number 4.
Well, like
he's really disappointing. He'll be disappointed and so he should be. First game of the year, first half of football for the young kid, looking towards a sort of promising tournament over the next 5-6 weeks, if possible, if they could get to the finals, but unfortunately cut short, and we wish him well with his recovery. Broken legs aren't the end of the story. Yeah, it is. Tyzak Ryan there, number 4 for WaiCoBay.
Thank you for that clarification. A lot of parents obviously anxious when they see players go down. So here we are, back into the action with Waikou Bay. 21 is Elijah Maliatoa. He has the ball. Bidwa in dummy half now. Bidwa darts forward, lines it up back on the inside with the angled run for Jack Henry. And Henry catches Auckland White snoozing. It makes them pay. He's in, 8 metres to the left-hand side of the post. Great effort for Waikou Bay.
Yeah, well, they kept themselves ready during that entire injury break there. But that was just a spirited run. Fantastic effort. He just kept himself driving forward, twisted and turned in the tackle. Managed to shrug off a couple. Just fantastic effort. Not enough numbers in there for Auckland White. They weren't expecting it. That's a great way to get yourself into the game.
Very much so. Of course, his twin is in the mix as well, Brett Henry, both of them out of Rotorua Boys High School. And he was a prop forward. And so now the coaching staff wanted him to take responsibility and to play second row. And that was a really nice effort from him as well to get across the line. So 26 minutes in. And here we are with Waikou Bay bouncing back. And the injury perhaps was the better part of 10 minutes by the time the young player was taken off. Sadly for Waikou Bay, the kick off the Cowhorns, and so it is 12-4. A good try there. Young Henry, keep an eye out for him. Jack Henry, one of the 2 Henry twins in this lineup for Waikou Bay. Auckland White a little bit slow to get back to the middle. Remember, 35-minute halves here in Rotorua. Of course, earlier on today, Central Districts had the wood on Auckland Blue, and a surprising scoreline deep into the game, but Auckland Blue coming back with 3 quick tries to snuff out any celebrations that might have been intended by the Central Districts squad. And again, another mistake here from Waikou Bay, put immediate pressure on themselves, and it's Auckland White who'll get the scrum feed here.
Yeah, strategic kick there from Auckland White. I think they must have thought that must have knew that that ball was going to hold up in the wind that's blowing in the backs of Waikou Bay, and it did so. It was a real difficult kick to take. In the end, just the pressure coming through from the centre on the right side there. It was Kale.
We mentioned there would be some mistakes made early on, and there have been plenty of them as well, but also seeing a lot of hearty attitudes on show here.
It's good quality football. Despite the errors we've seen so far, there's been some good football.
Liking what we're seeing from Jack Henry. That's him on D this time around, the try scorer. They're going to have to work hard here. Waikou Bay back to Elan Payne, who turns it across to Christian Samo. He'll put it down. Beautiful pickup on the half volley here for Auckland White. Scrambling defence from Maliatoa. Puts the attacking man away. 14 on is Madison Takau. And Takau gets the ball easy. And another knock on. Well, Waikou Bay, Father Harry Houdini's of rugby league here this afternoon. They've escaped about 3 times.
He got up confused as anything too, Tony Tawha. He wasn't too sure how the ball came loose. We didn't really see it. We might get an opportunity to see it, but we were a little bit obscured from it. But great little offload here. And the line was right in front of him. Yeah, maybe just the hand around the back there, knocked the ball forward.
Big Christian Samo, 6'4", he's just left school, actually plays his footy for Otara. And he's looking to play Fox Memorial Championship. And he's been encouraged by Francis Melly to recognise that if he can't get a start, or if Otara aren't going to make their way into the Fox, he needs to be playing at that top level. And certainly his bulk would indicate he's got a decent future. 6'4" for the young player. And the man who thought he had scored a try, only to be denied Christian Samo. Up slowly to the player is Caleb Tane. And a penalty coming the way of Waikou Bay. Pretty decent effort here from the home team. as we come up towards half an hour of play. Half time, another 5 minutes away.
The opportunity here for Waikou Bay, maybe to try and post some points in the last 5 minutes of this one. Auckland White there, just testing Paki Parkinson with their defensive wrestle.
Elan Payne's got great technique. I've been impressed by him. The number 13 was the second on the list for Francis Malley when he got the chance to choose out of those who trialled early this year. Elan Payne has also played Fox as well, very agile, and he's a good thinker, says Francis Malley. You want good students of the game as well. It's what coaches are looking for, guys interested to understand how they can play their positions better. Here's a nice little darting run as well as Viliami Cooley.
Oh, he's going to be a problem, Cooley.
Makes some inroads. Yeah, he looks like he's got intent. Doesn't he? Here he is again, Cooley. The tackle's made by Dana Bidwar. Cooley will be slow to his feet. Dummy half work now is for Madison Tekau, who is in the mix in jersey number 15. Maliator makes the tackle here. Auckland in good position.
Got numbers here.
Tekau, right side. And good defence out wide again from WaiCoaBay. This is gutsy stuff from these kids. Make no mistake, they're really trying to work hard, but they're going to have to stay on their game if they're going to keep the blue and whites out at the moment. The crossfield kick is trying to line up Tulo Watts, and then Cooley tries to have a rear guard effort. He too misses it. They've dodged some bullets today, WaiCoaBay, but hey, you've got to put yourself in position to challenge, and that's exactly what they have done. They'll have a dropout underneath the crossbar instead. That's a clever little kick out wide.
Yeah, the Auckland White structure is so good at the moment. Their ball movement, the way they're setting up plays is fantastic. It's just the desperate effort from Waikou Bay to keep them out in the last pass or the last kick that's actually keeping the scoreline pretty close at the moment. So they'll be getting some confidence out of this, though, Waikou Bay, for sure.
Well, the man who's taken our eye is this Cooley, playing in strip number 3 with the long hair. He's actually from Tonga, and he's never played league before. But Francis Malley just liked his attitude. He's got great feet, he says. And I think he's been out at Wesley College as well, but keep an eye on him. That's the youngster in the number 3 jersey for Auckland White, threatening still with a big number 16 start, who will play the ball. This is Payne. Payne keeps it hot. They've got numbers if they can work it, and Auckland White eventually crack the nut and score out wide. Some clever play. The fullback was in there, Corey Cassidy Natano, but great lead-up work and good understanding as they chain past out through the back line to get the try in the corner.
He's been really good, Cassidy Natano, just working himself into an offensive line. Great passes, a couple of nice little kicks. That was the one that just dribbled over the dead ball line, but here, just using his pace, getting around his opposite number and putting the ball down in the corner with one hand. Fantastic skill. Just numbers and pressure in the end. Too much for Waikou Bay.
Yeah, their luck ran out in the end, and just the weight of possession and also their willingness to give the ball air close to the line brought the home side undone. Corey Cassidy Natano out of the Waitapata Seagulls Club too, which is neat to see. Big ups to our viewers on Sky Sport. We call Ranui and West Auckland home. It's a proud club, and I think he's still at school. Actually, the fullback, Kelston Boys High. Well, this is the toughest kick that we've seen for the number 6. But as we said in the build-up to the game, he's kicking at 80%. So Dukes Koiva is just as likely to slot it over here, even though the wind is not favouring him. He's quite obviously very skillful off the kicking tee. So here he is. Beautiful evening here at Rotorua at the International Stadium. Round 1 of the National 20s competition. Dukes Koiva looking to put the icing on the cake after Auckland White's 3rd try. Look at him bring that around.
Wow.
Oh, and it hits the crossbar and away, but almost deserved a better fate. Thoughts there, please, Wairagi.
Yeah, he's got some skill. It's good to have some up-and-coming quality kickers in these young sides.
I hope you've been enjoying the action, albeit with a major injury to the number 4, Tyzak Rind, for WaiCoaBay at this stage as we approach half-time. It's 3 tries to 1 and a scoreline of 16-4. Thanks to Sky Sport for bringing us more action from the local sporting scene. And you've got plenty of it coming your way. The kickoff almost eludes those in the blue and white strip at the back, but they get attacked from anywhere as we see sidestepping effort here from Koiva. It's good, and there is the curtain down on the first half. Well, a decent brand of football here early in the season for Rotorua, but at the moment, kudos must go to the Auckland White team, coached by Francis Melly. They lead WaiCoaBay in round 1 of the NZRL National 20s competition. Half-time, Auckland White 16, WaiCoaBay 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Make way, make way. The entertainers unleashed. We are the new kings in this fight tonight. This is some show. Oh, sound the alarm right now. Goes all the way. What a try. And it's absolutely incredible.
The NRL Premiership returns March 11, Sky Sport.
From the streets of London to a place beyond the stars, a land of dragons, to a world where you can be whatever you want. Welcome to where your journey begins. More adventure, more drama, more action, and more emotion.
This is the feeling I have been searching for my entire life.
More of what you want, where and when you want it. Watch the solo content on Sky Go.
The whole world is in your grasp.
Sky Go. Download the app today.
You are looking at the undisputed greatest middleweight in the world at present. The champion remains Israel Adesanya.
What he wants to do is leave behind a lasting legacy.
Who else am I going to fight a middleweight? Nothing can stop me. You're going to feel the legendary Polish power. Guess what? I'm the best in the world.
UFC 259, Sunday live on Sky Arena. To purchase, text UFC 259 to 4024.
Kia ora, welcome back to Rotorua International Stadium, the Sulphur City, where it's all about mud pools, geysers, and good guys. Speaking of good guys, Wairangi Korpi's with us, and we're going through some of the highlights of that first half. Pretty good effort by the WaiCoaBay Stallions. At the break, 16-4. We had a major injury, but we'll get a chance to have a look back on some of the highlights. Sure, there were early nerves on display in the opening exchanges, and WaiCoaBay repelled Auckland numerous times, but eventually they did crack in the 8th minute with Kingy getting over. But pretty good effort in that first half.
Yeah, just a weighted possession really on the back of that, and some great defensive efforts from the fullback Ohomori Rapana. But that was the second try to Cooley, as we mentioned, barnstorming sensor on the left side for Auckland White.
This is Jack Henry, and it came after a 10-minute break. And speaking of break, sadly, it looks like a broken bone for the number 4 Tyzik Rind from WaiCoaBay. But it put a bit of spark into the attack for WaiCoaBay, which was briefly extinguished as well with that diving effort in Cassidy Natano, who scored out wide. But a pretty good defensive effort through that first 35. You're watching the action from Rotorua. 16-4 at half-time. We'll take another break and come back. We'll be ready to go with the second half of action. Great to have you along here on Sky Sport, the home of New Zealand Rugby League.
Nathan Brown will take over the head coaching role at the Warriors next season.
That is exactly what the Warriors need. I think it'll be a great signing.
There's nothing like the anticipation of a new season.
I'm excited. And I hope you are too. So strap yourself in. In 2021, we're all in.
Your life is an occasion. Rise to it.
I believe that you can make it be anything that you want.
The
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something.
What you need to believe in is you.
You were sent here for a reason. And even if it takes you the rest of your life, find out what that reason is.
Your life is an occasion. Rise to it.
It's game time.
Just gotta get there fast. Get there faster. Can't lose nobody. Yeah, everything is going faster.
Game time. Wednesday, live Sky Sport 2.
So here we are, going into the second half of Rotorua. Good to have you along too on Sky Sport, the home of NZRL. My husband here, beside me, Waikou. And at half time, it's Auckland White leading by 16-4 here in the under-20s competition, running over the next month or so too. So we're getting a chance to get a look at these guys as they build some confidence. There's a few good ones coming out of Auckland White, but also some gutsy performances coming from the home squad as well. Who've been your standouts in that first 40?
Yeah, we knew Auckland was going to have a very good side. Both sides, Akarana and Counties obviously combining to make two sides, Auckland White, Auckland Blue. And the catchment is vast in the Auckland area, so they're always going to have two very good sides. I really like Huli, obviously the centre there, the Tongan centre for Auckland White. He looks fantastic. There was a couple of boys, Tony Tuffa, obviously a lot of experience there. He was great in the first half. Great kicking game from Dukes Kohiva. And then on the other end, there's been some really good ones. Jack Henry, who obviously scored their try. To'ataua Porima is really tough and great defence.
16-4. Can WaiCoABay hang with this Auckland White, or maybe even get some momentum and cause a bit of an upset? All Auckland White kick away with it. They're stacked full of players, many of whom already have top club experience in Tamaki Makaurau. About to get underway, just awaiting a hoot here. 16-4 scoreline. Rotorua is looking absolutely gorgeous here this February night. And of course, big events going on around the region as well. I see 660 are lining up in Hamilton tonight at Kirikiri Roa. So a lot of the Rotorua guys will be travelling there, no doubt.
Yeah. Start of the Super Rugby season as well. Just waiting for the referees to finish their snacks and get back onto the field. Those oranges are hard to eat really quickly.
Well, I acknowledge too, Paki Parkinson. He's been one of our top young referees for a long time. He has the whistle centre field. That's him there, and ably assisted today by Viggo Rasmussen on the side, and Puia Williams as well. So work to be done. Running with a wind that appears to be coming from the broadcast side of the stadium, back towards the right-hand corner on the far side of the field. WaiCoABay with the ball, and here come Auckland White. Crushing tackle as well. Stop the spirited run. It came in off the kickoff. Number 16 with it, surging forward. This is Brett Henry. Henry with the play of the ball. Dana Bidwar is the acting half at the moment for WaiCoABay. Just need to be a little conservative here in their approaches immediately after the resumption. Get to the back end of their set, get a decent kick downfield as Mariator plays the ball. Here is what we're speaking about, and Jaden Graham launches it high, perhaps not as deep as he needed it to be. Watts comes in, has a little problem with it, and then he's wrapped up by the Homori Lapana, just 5 metres short of the halfway line. With it taking forward is Cassidy Natano, who scored just before the interval. Caleb Lepau Gamlin comes in to make a tackle, little knock on as well. That's just what WaiCoABay need.
Yes, indeed, especially off the first set of the second half. It won't please Francis Millie. I'm sure he would have loved to have the first couple of sets as completions.
A nice conversation with Francis, and was really interested in his sort of coaching philosophy. He's not a guy who raises his voice, as you and I touched on when we were talking prior to the game, but he's a very articulate speaker and obviously knows the game very well through all of his international experience. But Wairangi was saying that He never used to talk on the field.
Yeah, no, he never used to say a word, really. You just hear him sort of out in the wing, whistling or making these sort of little chirpy noises. And
chirpy noises.
That meant he wanted the ball. Give him the ball.
Oh, fair enough, too. So Mitchell Windsor with the play the ball. Here come WaiCoaBay. They're just 5 short of the halfway line. But a good start in the second stanza for them. Bidwar pushing out wide, and there's the mistake they really needed to avoid, and Auckland White will capitalise and try and ram home an advantage here. 45 metres out. They'll go short side this time. Nice little dummy. Faith Kale 32 metres out from the try line now. Auckland White full of class. But this time around, that class goes missing.
Here we see it. Two, what we call rusty errors. Wayward pass and snatching at the ball, and then a little bit of a teddy bear carry there. You call it a teddy bear carry because you're sort of cuddling the ball. You don't have your hands around it and grasping it with your fingers. So just a little bit low there.
Nice shoulder work as well from Bidwar. Came in and jolted the ball loose out of Christian Simo's hands. Waikou have it. 25 from their own line. Taking it in first up is Graham. Good little run. Gets 10 metres. And now it's where Waikou need to put their hands up in a willingness to get involved, to get dirty, to get hard. And this is Lepau Gamlin. Short side run. Here's your mate. Pushes it away. Manages to get the pass away to Humodi as well. Gets it out to Dylan Rogers Podo. And he's on the halfway line. This is better stuff to Maliatoa. One out running for Maliatoa. 5 metres inside enemy territory now for WaiCoaBay. Little dummy. Back it comes to Maliatoa again. Has another sighter. Gets a little offload to Mitchell Windsor. Finds himself into a hole, Mitchell Windsor. Runner on the inside. Here comes Rapana. Oh, top draw effort, WaiCoaBay. Sparkling Rugby League. What a way to start the second half.
Oh, I was just about to say they were a little bit flat on attack. The forwards taking hit-ups there, just a little bit short. There was not enough wind-up, but what it did mean was that the people were Johnny on the spot there just to back up and support, and a couple of little offloads, and boys were around the ball early, so that was a great little offload there, and he took off Xavier Mitchell-Windsor. What all good fullbacks should do. They should be there on the money to support whoever makes a break and come up with the pill. That's a great effort from WaiCoaBay to post some points first in the second half. They needed it.
Well, there he goes. Rapana, as mentioned. He's in the club's 18s last year. He's certainly got some wheels, and that time around had some good foresight. You say he was there, Johnny on the spot through the middle, the fat man's track, as it's often referred to, but for those who are able to make a break, they really light up with a smile when they see their support players looming large on the inside. That's exactly where he turned up Rapana, and the conversion successful. This will light a spark in the WaiCoaBay squad. If they had any self-doubt, it will extinguish that right now.
Yes, indeed. I think on the back of their stoic defensive efforts in the first half, and then in particular in the second half where they've forced some errors, they'll be gaining confidence as we go, and I'm sure you'll see a pretty tough defensive Auckland White line here who want to try and restrict WaiCoaBay to as little metres as possible on this set.
There's the man who made the break as well. Dishes up down the side. Here they come, full of running. Here's WaiCoaBay barreling their way forward now. 25 metres out. Bit of a shoulder charge as well, so they get some easy metres as here WaiCoaBay. The crowd recognising the opportunity that's presenting itself here for them.
That's a little bit of frustration creeping into the Auckland White side now. Boys are starting to bar up, trying to beat their chest a little bit.
Apologies, there is a 16 running for WaiCoaBay, but they didn't list him, so I'm not quite sure who he is. But he's this young bloke. He's featured a few times, actually. We'll find out next time. Even though the best intentions, you ask not for late jersey changes, they still sometimes catch us by surprise. So it's Bidwar. Now, working his way from Mitchell Windsor. Some nice work from Mitchell Windsor of late young Xavier. From out of Ngati Picao as well. Lots of boys high last year, first 15. So he's got some talent, Xavier. Good distribution skills as well. That was a forward pass by the unnamed player, sadly. These folks will be looking on. Well, that's a bit of a shame, but it will work down the right side. Here's WaiCoaBay. Now just trying to drizzle the ball somewhere towards the goalpost. It's taken at the back. Sideways run. Oh. Great defence. Good hearty chase as well from WaiCoaBay.
Yeah, they're really starting to build some confidence, and it's good to see. A few too many one-out runs by Waikou Bay. They need to run in support of each other. At the moment, that Waitou is really the thing that it's carrying them.
Dana Bidwar is working hard. And that's deemed to play the ball, and so a chip over the top. Taking it at the back here is Caleb Tane. Tane carries nicely. 20 metres in from the western touchline here at Rotorua International Stadium. And now with the ball, Caleb Gamblin. 3 Calebs in the squad. Popular name back in, well, what would that be? 2001, I guess.
Yeah. Just need to settle themselves down a little bit, Auckland White. Like I said, they're starting to beat their chest a little bit, trying to come up with some big shots, but they're slipping off tackles. Just means Waikou Bay can find their front and win the ruck.
Dotoa, Porima, quick play the ball. Here come WaiCoaBay, little dummy. Oh, this kid's good. Like him a lot too. Very creative, very agile. Sense when an opportunity is on. Crossfield they come now. Jaden Graham with the kick sideways. Thank you. We've just been informed that I must pay some tribute then to Nidai McRae, who is in jersey number 16, who's listed in 18. So we've got that one sorted. Thank you.
Process of elimination.
Well.
Yeah, where we worked out there were 14, 15 and 21 were on the field, so...
Well, that's good stuff because he's been carrying well. I can tell you just a touch about him according to the coach. He's from Taliwharau. Say no more, now lives in Paidor. But he's a good middle runner. He's got good skills. And they've been on show here as well. So, kia ora to him. That's Nidai McRae.
Yeah, unfortunately, just loitering around the ruck area there. It's Henry. I think that's Henry. Yeah, it is. No, Rawiri Matthews, sorry.
This is where Waikou Bay need to keep tight. I mean, Auckland, just by the fact of the population base, would have come into today's game as favourites. And as you say, for the large catchment the code has in Tamaki Makaurau. But credit to Waikou Bay playing a gutsy style and really doing their best there as we see this shunting run from the big man. He comes in again. Auckland White on the rampage. Look out, Waikou Bay, look out. The tackle is late, but it is made there by Brett Henry. Still the danger hasn't subsided as Auckland White look confidently. And that ball's been lost as well. So, again, Waikou Bay dodge another bullet. And the big man is slow to get to his feet.
There's a nice little short ball there. This is a great run. Just pumped in the legs, and he almost got there too. They struggled to pull him down, but have a look at this nice little pass. A nice little no-look pass it was. Short ball, but a good little tackle. And the one that came over the top from Narai was the one that forced the ball loose.
Waikou Bay, it's all playing into their hands at the moment. 11 minutes into the second half. A 70-minute game. Little dummy. But the Auckland White defenders come up and they'll take no prisoners there. As Caleb Tane takes the ball in. This is back to Elijah Maliatua. Out of Tokoroa. And was rewarded with a spot in the Waikou Bay Stallions for the intensity he took into their training camps and training opportunities, Elijah Maliatua. And he's looking like he's got the goods as well. Back again to the surprise package. And Nidai McRae. 14 back in as well. That's Preston Burgess. He's working the dummy half position for WaiCoaBay. Slow to get off. Victor R4. Burgess. Mitchell Windsor. Smart thinking. Downtown he goes. Comes away a little bit from Cassidy Natano. Eventually claims it on his 20-metre line. Runs it up 10 metres, but WaiCoaBay are there to meet him as well. 15 short of the halfway. He's to his feet now. Plays the ball as Auckland White look to create something. Watts comes in from out wide. The tall, lanky wing now makes his way onto the halfway line. Here comes the try scorer from early on. That's Cooley. He is a pocket rocket. He's a handful. The pass is good. Auckland White will capitalise. And it's the halfback who streaks away. Tinapi Waipodi who scores under the post. Well, from broken play and really running against the run of play as well, Auckland White score. But again, we're reminded of the talents on show here from Viliami Cooley.
Yeah, we recognise that he'd be a problem for a defensive line in the first half. Cooley, look at the upper body strength just to throw off defenders, and then the balance and offload. Great work from the half to back up as centre, as big powerful centre. Jesus, following the footsteps of the ones like Conrad Hurrell, who have come over from rugby and made their mark in rugby league, especially in that centre position. Great footwork. They're sort of built close to the ground and got great strength.
They sort of shunted bunt their way forward as well. Solomon Nakata was similar to what we've been seeing here from
Manelo Mape.
Ngani Lomape have hit the nail on the head, all right. He's really good to watch. The try scorer, Tinapi Waipodi, is playing for the Otahuhu Club. Speaking with the coach Melly, he says he's really pleased that the young man is involved with a club that has such a pedigree in bringing on talent. And of course, I remind you that they are a club that have produced 5 New Zealand captains as well along the way. One of them, our very own broadcast mate, and Richie Barnett.
Probably the Blue Ribbon Club, isn't it, really?
Well, Matt Albert wouldn't say that.
Yes.
Point Chev wouldn't say that as well.
Just over the years, you'd say. They probably actually wouldn't say that themselves either, to be honest.
So there's Waipodi with a bit of a dive to finish as well. Nice to have on the highlights reel for later in life. Just on 20 to play here, and it's 22-10. So I hope you're able to join us as this competition unfolds. If you've just picked up on the action here, it's the under-20s comp. I remind you at the start of our broadcast that we were speaking with how the game really needed some pathways for our young men and women. We get to the under-18s and then find themselves with no tournaments to attend. You're straight into open age competition, and this is a way to keep them focused and hopefully recognising that they can use the under-20s as a stepping stone into top footy. Let's have another look at the injury and how this was sustained. Well, pocket rocket just had his shoulder in the wrong place. Jack Henry, I think, might have gone down on the far side. We'll just check his number. Like number 11 here?
Yeah, you could be right. Yeah, that's a tough tackle to make on a big man. Yeah, you're right. Jack Henry.
Well, it's all about technique. We've already seen one broken bone there, sadly, with Tyzak Ryan, and now try scorer Henry. Looks a bit worse for wear. Might have popped the shoulder.
Yeah, maybe a little sublux there.
Thank you, Dr. Korpu.
Technique only goes so far, unfortunately, and then once your technique gets overpowered, you end up with an injury.
Is he able to? Oh, he's been assisted from the field, but he's able to walk there. So
probably one of my worst injuries as a rugby league player was a sublux shoulder, and I really badly damaged the nerve. And that was around the time when you could shoulder charge, so I thought it was a wise idea to shoot out of the line and put a shot on Stosic. He played for he was another New Zealand kid. Played for the Cronulla Sharks. Unfortunately, he was about 122 kilos, and I was about 98 kilos. And that equation didn't work very well for me.
It'd take a long time to recover from, is what you're getting at, though, Waitangi.
Yeah, that was an 8-month layoff. So, yeah, by far my worst.
Well, hopefully it's not as serious as what you've just suggested there for Jack Henry. Well, and what we do know, though, is that he's got talent, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see him next week and beyond. Meanwhile, Auckland White, high on confidence to the scoreline in their favour by 12. The kick into touch here on the western side of the stadium. And it's about 12 metres out from the Waikou Bay line. Again, big ups to those who follow the code, support the code. The coastlines region, Tauranga, and around that area. And of course, Waikato have a proud history in their own right. And combining here with the teams out of Rotorua.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, like you say, Dale, even though the Auckland side, they've got a lot of experience in these young men, for a lot of these boys playing in these regional teams like Waikou Bay and Central and Northland, a lot of them are at the age now where they actually step up into their senior grades, because it's sort of like you're big enough and strong enough and fit enough now to play at open level. They generally very quickly make that step up.
So Xavier Mitchell-Windsor will have the ball about 20 metres in from the eastern touchline here, and will kick to find some field position for Waikou Bay. Now they have possession on the halfway line. A good chance for them to mount an attack. They're down by 12, but that's doable if the cards fall their way in the latter stages of this game. Still got just over 17 minutes to play. This man can go. Rewati Brown on the wind-up. The tackle is sound as well from Cooley. He's been one of the standouts for Francis Melly's Auckland White team. This is Bidwar. Thinks about passing. In the end, he goes towards the 40-metre line, and that's where he meets a wall of blue and white defenders. Pop pass, and now it's Eamon Dean.
Great
the big
ball.
Dean gets a nice little ball away to Brett Henry. We wanted to do well, seeing his brother taken off the field with a sort of crook shoulder. This guy's been outstanding so far through the course of the game. That's Mitchell-Windsor, and he plays it 15 metres from the line. Dummy half work here for Burgess. It's a spin. The ball went behind him. Had it not, he certainly could have made more meterage. But this will have Eamon Dean on the 10-metre line, and now a great chance for Waikou Bay. Wide they go. It's through Graham. And now from fullback, stepping up is Rapana. He pops the pass as well, but coming up from the far side is Watts to snuffle the attack. And that'll be the turnover. They really needed to use that more wisely, get a kick either into the in goal or high for the bomb. They do neither. And Auckland White get hold of it with what could only be deemed a soft turnover.
Yeah, the space was there, and behind the winger for Hormody had just put a little kick in for his winger. There was some free real estate back there. There was a fullback, I suppose, coming across, but I didn't mind that set from Waikou Bay. That was actually really nice. It was the first time they've actually run in pairs. A nice little offload, nice little interchange between a couple of forwards there. Put the Auckland White defence on the back foot. They're working on the offensive line, of the advantage line, sorry. So we see your Hormody Rapana here. Not enough bananas, not enough calcium in their diet. Obviously starting to cramp up in this heat.
He's had a good game, and I think we're going to see the best of him in the weeks ahead. Let's just also be mindful of what we're witnessing here. G'day boys, how you doing there? Good young fellas. Happy to be on Sky Sport. Another little issue here for Hormody Rapana. He's been certainly one of the best here for Waikou Bay. But just getting back to just acknowledging these guys haven't had a chance to have a run. And so this is the first hit out of 2021. It's been a pretty decent standard of football, bearing that in mind.
Really good standard.
And they'll get better in the next few weeks. Again, pay an acknowledgement to New Zealand Rugby League for arranging this competition. There's obviously logistics and money's involved. We've got another little look here at how Modi's injury came and what actually happened.
We're having a look to see how he got cramp. That's the extent of it.
Oh, it's just cramp.
It's just cramp.
Oh, okay.
Get the man some electrolytes. Look, I'll be honest with you too, Dale. You see two teams like Auckland White and Auckland Blue who are combined Akarana and counties sides, and you automatically think to yourself, this competition would probably end up with two Auckland sides in the final. But what we've seen over the last two games is the Central District side leading at half time and deep into the second half as well against the Auckland Blue side, and then Waikou Bay, who's putting up a fantastic fight. This is anybody's competition, and I'm really excited to see how it unfolds over the next couple of weeks.
Tautoko kōrero Wairangi, I think we've been treated to some great individual play like this. Look at this run. Fantastic. It's Navajo Doyle. He's racked up and put away on the 30-metre line, but he made 25 metres in his run. Now, that's really important here for Waikou Bay that they don't drop their heads. They must maintain their defensive intensity as we see Vic R4 pops the ball wide out to Koiva. And now they're really going to give the ball some air. 12 metres out from the try line, Auckland White looking threatening short side. It's R4 with the ball, short pass and a strong carry as well. Is it Tony Tuffer? I think it might be the big number 10. Indeed it is. Well, that was good play from the two bookends, or the popo as we like to call them too, here for Auckland White. And the combo there between Vic of 4 and Tony Tuffer really resulted in that try down the left edge. Too big, too powerful, too close to the line.
Yeah, it's not often you see two props sort of hunting down the short side and 20 metres from the sideline there, and just the combination between the two big men. And that is very hard to stop for your nippy, lanky centres and wingers, and to have two big men sort of standing up in front of you, it's desperate times. So good work there. Nice little game plan from the Auckland White side. I'm not too sure if it was planned, but still great rugby league anyway.
Yeah, well, Tony's really worked hard in the off-season. He's lost over 5 kg since the end of last year as well. He's been in the Warriors 18-year-old sort of mix as well, so he's been exposed to some good coaching along the way. And he plays for the Roosters, the Tautoko Roosters in Auckland's West as well, but teamed up brilliantly then with R4. And they were always going to cause problems once the two big units combined down the short side, as Waitangi just mentioned. Well, looking to slot the extras here. Dukes Koiva. He's been good so far. Can he do it again? Not this time around. As mentioned, kicking at 80% coming into the game as well. A long range effort off the sideline would bounce back off the crossbar, but he's certainly good with the kicking tee. Will be a valuable asset in the weeks ahead.
Yeah, he's got a good strike. Really good strike. Just quickly too, Dale, the last instalment of this competition, or round one of this competition, will be played out tomorrow. Sky Sport between Northland and South Island, which is coming from Ngāpuna Wai Park in Christchurch. So not too sure on the kickoff time for that one. Check your Sky guides, but it'd be great to see what those two teams have to offer as well.
Well, we're looking forward to going to Takahiwai next week. We're in Northland. We'll be lining up against, I think it's Auckland White.
The mighty Norta.
Yeah, so it's going to be neat to go up to the Mackie boys' home. Proud rugby league club, the Takahiwai Warriors.
Is it Owen Guttenbill's old club? Is it? Was he a Takahiwai
old
boy before?
Might have been a West End jumbo, that bloke.
Yeah, not sure.
See much of him?
Not a lot of him. He's a very busy man. He has a passive fire business and installs fire protection into commercial buildings. So he's a very, very busy man. I see a bit more of his kids and stuff in Auckland City, but...
Well, kia ora to you, Arwen, as we see WaiCoABay trying to respond, but in the end, Caleb Tane runs out of room and is pushed across the touchline here, just down in front of our broadcast position. And we'll pack the scrum down here for Auckland White.
Yeah.
Solid D.
Thought they were boarding him with the offload there, made a few inroads, and was hoping Tane had a bit of space to work with, but big lanky winger.
Faith Kalikale really is the one who got hold of him and put him over the chalk. Scrum feed here. And it's Tanapi Waipoti. Saw him streak down the middle as well and score a nice try. Waipoti, that was about 12 minutes into the second half. WaiCoaBay will have reason to hold their heads high. They certainly shouldn't let them dip at the moment, because if they do, this Auckland White team can really pounce. It'll be like staccato. They can score tries in rapid succession, as we see them threateningly working down the left edge as we speak. And with the ball is Kyson Kingy. He scored the first try of the match. Kyson, he's up and quickly plays the ball. Auckland White threatening, looking for numbers. And there is the man who scored the second try. That's Cooley. Perhaps one of the best on the deck today there for the Blue and Whites. Now giving the ball some air and some latitude as well. Good straightening effort as well from Kalikale.
Some big gaps in the middle of the park.
Problem is, you get a feeling that Auckland White are going to capitalise here and use their big men, and that's a charging run. But it's the last tackle, and so the effort from Rewati Brown ultimately was a try saver.
Just hung on there, WaiCoaBay. You hope they can keep that spirited spirited defence. Up to the end of the game. There's just over 10 minutes to play in this one. Oh, that was suffocating.
26-10 scoreline here. Auckland White leading, but WaiCoaBay, with that hearty attitude that we know is evident in all the footy they play through coastlines, Waikato and the Bay of Plenty. They really just need to stick to their guns. Auckland White want the football. And Big R4 is getting in there and really making that defence pay for the squad that he captains. But WaiCoaBay will benefit from a penalty, 25 from their line.
Yeah, the heats and this, that first game fatigue is starting to take its toll on a few of these boys. There's guys sort of pulling back toes all over the place as they start to cramp up through the calf muscles. Sure, that'll be something that'll ease as the weeks go on, but definitely a factor here. Once you get cramp in the calf too, it's really hard to get rid of it. Once it sets in, that's pretty much you. Yeah. Very, very difficult to run it out.
Gavin with the ball now for WaiCoaBay. They're just into enemy territory, about 6 or 7 metres. Dummy half work for Preston Burgess. And another penalty. Preston Burgess, new from rugby, he's from Tauranga. Okay, a sponge, soaking up a lot of information. The young fella in jersey number 14 for WaiCoaBay. There's the penalty for them.
Looks like a warning there to Captain Victor R4. Just telling him if there's going to be 2 more penalties like this, there'll be somebody maybe in the bin for the end of this game.
Graham kicks it. There's a touch. 30 out. Here's Rewati Brown. Inside the 20. Brown gets to his feet to play the ball. Burgess. Now crossing for Bidwar. And Bidwar attracts the attention of 2 of the bigger defenders, but he scrambles his way out of the tackle. Burgess has it. Burgess has a little go himself and almost gets there. Well, it would have been a real feather in the cap for Preston Burgess if he was able to score. Waikoa, easy as that for Eamon Dean. He's in next to the post.
Yeah, just on the back of 2 penalties. A few too many tackles, and in the end it was pretty easy for the big man. The line was right in front of him. Why not just go to him and let him fall over the line? And I think there might have been 1 number short. Tanapi Waipoti was being helped from the field and back play as well. He used to come to cramp in the calves. So I think there might have been just down to 12 players. We've seen that he went so close, did Preston Burgess. And in the end, it was nice quick play of the ball, and big man, Eamon Dean.
Out of Tokoroa, but he's also had some SG ball experience. I'm not quite sure if it was the Storm or the Tigers, or maybe even both of them, so he's a very strong prop. Francis Malley will be unimpressed, though, at the defensive line. They should have recognised the danger. You're always going to use your big men close to the line and under the sticks. And so Eamon Dean sauntered across to score the try, which brings us to 26-16. A very creditable performance, but still a chance to snatch victory for Waikou again, if some things can work out for them. Auckland White slow to get back to the kickoff spot. Perhaps tiring, and that wouldn't be at all a surprise.
I mean, that's the bittersweet scenario that we're sort of faced with this year, Dale. The ones like Eamon Dean, who would typically go back to Australia and maybe play in those youth competitions like the SG Ball and have those pathways into elite clubs over in Australia. You know, they've sort of end up having been stuck in New Zealand, if you like to call it. They've been stuck in Aotearoa, and therefore, you know, sort of playing in this competition. So, you know, we're lucky to have them in here and sort of give them a pathway to continue their rugby league dream. But, you know, on the other coin of things, I suppose for some of them, those opportunities of not being able to play in those Australian competitions at another high level has forced them to come up with this competition.
Well, there's talk of an SG Ball team. In fact, I think it's more than talk. It could even be confirmed in the New South Wales comp next year. So creating the pathways, of course, the 20s in the NRL faltered. It wasn't favoured, but they're always jiggling with things in the NRL as well. They're talking about a return to reserve grades and the like.
And I see, you know, they're always trying to grow the game, which is fantastic. And I see, you know, potentially there could be an NRL side coming out of PNG in a few more years. So, you know, we know how proud and how passionate Papua New Guinea are about their rugby league.
That'd be awesome. And of course, we are playing in different times and circumstances. Digital technologies had a huge impact on participation in sport across the board, not just this code, but all codes. And talking with Francis Mel, with Motutoni, I think it was, and we were talking about some situations over in England, and they were doing some research, Wairangi, as to why the crowds weren't turning up at the stadium. It turned out that there was a mall built down the road and they were going shopping. So that's the reality. Look, there's going to be MVPs announced as well. So we'll have those for you at the end of the game, which is just 4.5 minutes away at the moment. WaiCoaBay, they're very bunched at the moment. Auckland White, they've still got a lot of blokes full of running as the ball's fed up. This is the fullback, Cassidy Natano. Pegged, grassed, just short of the halfway line. Kale, bulldozing his way to the 40. Quick play the ball for him. Right hand shuffle out to Navajo Doyle. Beautiful ball to Payne. Yep. That was just lovely. Navajo Doyle just popped the pass in, and Payne makes no mistake. Great play from Auckland White down the right edge.
Yeah, they got short there. They caught short there, WaiCoBay. Pretty sure there was only Brett Henry and his winger down there. They were on the back foot, never got off the line fast enough. So, yeah, they summed it up really nicely, Auckland White. Great ball there. Fantastic run from Elan Payne. At the moment, he's got the cramp pain as well, Elan Payne.
Yeah, it's been a bit tough. They left Cornwall Park at 10:30 this morning to come down to Rotorua. And I guess they'll have a feed and make their way home too. So it's a long day for them. The 2 hours here, cramping up, understandable. 5 hours on a bus. But even so, if you want to play rep footy, this is what you've got to do, and an opportunity to showcase their talents. And saying that as well, big ups to all the whānau who'll be proud of their men on stage here today. Well, this is how it panned out today. The MVP, Dukes Koiva. We'll get that back in a moment. Dukes Koiva with the 3 points. Of course, he's the standoff for Auckland White. And then WaiCoaBay, Tukamori Rapana, gets 2 points as well, the fullback, and a point as well to Napi Waipodi, the halfback for Auckland White. Can't disagree with any of those selections, Wairangi.
No, I think, they they've played fantastic, those three players, and we'll get a chance to have a chat to Duke Skohiva at the conclusion of this game.
This is him on show now. Can he slot this one? Pushes that one to the left of the uprights. So the scoreline 30 points to 16 in favour of Auckland White with just under 2 minutes to play. Again, when we look back at the performance of WaiCoaBay as they step forward to another challenge next week, there's been some encouraging signs, and I've really enjoyed the work at times of Jaden Graham. Certainly Mitchell Windsor has been outstanding today. Rapana, quite rightly, getting the nod from the selectors as far as the MVP is concerned. There's been some neat work as well on show. Dean, Brown, Bidwa, Henry. Just a few names to pluck out and look forward to next time around as well. I know that their coach Eugene Davis will be looking on from Wellington. A warm welcome to you, Nui Kiakwe, Eugene. A bit to work on, but certainly some wonderful talent that both you and Alex Parker have at your disposal.
Yeah, they've got a great platform to work with. At the moment, it's really hard to coach attitude, and these boys have turned up today with a great attitude, willing to work hard and willing to work together. There's a few technical things that they'll have to work on over the weeks to come, but they've looked great when they've worked together, especially in offence.
The Whiting is going to pop down and get us an interview with that MVP as we see this man. He has been one of the outstanding players here today, Viliami Kuli, and he's wrapped up on the far side of the field. WaiCoaBay forced to knock on as he goes to ground. Hope you've enjoyed the action. Just looking back on it, scoreline at half-time is 16-4 in favour of Auckland White, with tries to Kingi, Kuli and Cassidy Natano. And then on the turnaround, Rapana was in early for WaiCoaBay, bringing it up to 16-10. Then a couple of tries conceded by them. Waipodi and Tuffa put some tries on. Dean coming in late in the game. Again, the lead for Auckland White back to 10. 62 minutes gone. But as you can see, time is up here, and that try scored by Payne. The back rowers had a good game today, taking it out to 30-16. There's the hooter going in the background as we see WaiCoaBay. So they kick downfield now, just waiting for the conclusion, and that'll be run out into touch. And the curtain comes down. Solid first game effort from both teams here in Rotorua. I hope you enjoyed the action on Sky Sport. The NZRL National 20s competition is up and running, and we're looking forward to seeing some wonderful footy over the next few weeks. Here at Rotorua International Stadium, though, a late run sees the Auckland White team too strong. They win this one against WaiCoaBay 30-16. Well, it was quite the game, all right. And it's also good to have you along as the sun sets here, or thereabouts, here in the Sulphur City. But the game played in good spirit, some good talent on show as well. I'm looking forward to hearing Wairangi chatting with one of the best, that's Duke Skohiva. But I think Auckland White recognised too, this is not going to be an easy challenge. Everyone would half expect the two Auckland teams to play. Let's get another look at some of the tries as they rolled in. This was to Hamodi Rapana, scoring 4 minutes into the second half. Next up, it's a beautiful play here. This guy's had an outstanding run today. This is Cooley, bounces through, and the free hand finds Waipodi, and he has an unobstructed run to the line. Good try to Auckland White. Soon after, about 7 minutes later, it was tougher. Now this is down the left-hand side as well, and just too strong, the big guy, and it was part of the reason that it pushed out to 30-16 at the conclusion. There was a try to Dean here. Almost didn't number up on him well enough. And big aim, and Dean was in to score. And then a great try to wrap it up too. Now O'Doyle pops the ball to Payne. He just sprints through a wide gap and runs it in for the try, unconverted. And 30-16 the scoreline. This is a nice showmanship, or a nice showing of sportsmanship is what I was getting at, guys. And it's what rugby league should be about as well. Everyone here recognises that there's been little lead up, so the rivalry or the intensity that might accompany other games, not so much here today. Respecting each other's roles and positions as well. It's a lovely sight. Well, let's go down. It's Dukes Kaiva with WaiKoBay.
Dukes, congratulations. You took out MVP, 3 points in this game. How was that running around first game for the year?
Oh, it's a really good day just to get into it and play alongside some boys before the season starts. It's really good.
How was the heat? Because 4 o'clock kickoff in February is a tough one.
Oh yeah, it's really hot, but just props to the middles. They did all the work today. It's just my job to talk to them and get them going and sorting it out in the middle. Yeah.
Congratulations. Looking forward to seeing you play in the upcoming weeks.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Victor, well done. Picked up the first win of the year. How was it out there? How was it coming together for the first time with these boys?
Oh, it was good. Waikou came out strong in that first half. They really dominated us in that first 10 minutes. Our boys managed to hold up and get through that first half and work our middles and finish off on a good note. Yeah.
I suppose plenty of technical stuff for you and Coach Francis Miller to work on over the upcoming weeks, but good to get that first one under your belt.
Yeah. The boys, we left a few holes. We couldn't finish a few tries, but we'll go and training this week and fix them up and get ready for the next week.
Congratulations, Victor. Look forward to seeing you in the upcoming weeks.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So pretty satisfied there with the victory, as he should be, the skipper of Auckland White, Victor R4. But there is certainly work to be done by the coaching staff of both teams. Hope you enjoyed the action here from Rotorua today. A 16-4 lead for Auckland White at the half-time break and a 30-16 result at full time. That's the action from the Sulphur City of the first round of the National 20s competition. Hope you enjoyed the action. Tomorrow, it's North v South on Sky Sport. From me, Dale Husband, and WaiKoBay, and the whole gang who helped to put the coverage together today. We wish you well, and don't forget, stay locked in and watch your rugby league right here on Sky Sport, the home of NZRL Rugby League.